Chris Liebing here. I guess you can figure out already what my favorite DAW is. It's Ableton Live. And why? I've been using it since version 1.5. When it was released back then, it was just something fresh, more intuitive than the Notator, Cubase, and Logic, which I've used before. So it grabbed my attention back then, and I never let go.
I use Cubase because I think it's really good in recording and editing audio.
We have been using Logic to produce our albums because it's easy to work with and it can keep up with our creative workflow.
I have been using Cubase for 25 years. It's the program I know best.
I'm Lenny D. I use Pro Tools Ultimate. I use it because I make a lot of sample packs and it's great for mixing. Don't underestimate it.
Over the last couple of years, I've moved over from my last DAW to Bitwig, which is an extreme pleasure to use. It looks good, it sounds good, and it's got crazy modulation routing capabilities, which make me feel like I'm sitting in front of my modular system, even though I'm sitting in front of a computer.
Ableton is for me much more than just a DAW. It's an instrument, and I really like to play it.
My favorite DAW is Bitwig, because the design really inspires and motivates me to make music.
Hey Electronic Beats, we like to use Ableton Live because it's so easy for us to cut and chop samples with it. And it's such a natural flow. Workspace is easy to find everything. You can drag and drop. And it's just an easy way to work for us.
I use Cubase because that's what I started on in 1999 in my sampler days, and I've just stuck with it ever since.
In the beginning, I was using only Audacity for editing my DJ mixes, but once I started to produce music, I switched to Ableton Live and stick with it.
My preferred DAW is Ableton. Even though I am a gear nerd, as you can see, but the new Ableton 12 has amazing generative possibilities, and I really love it. And that is my preferred DAW.
Hi, Cisco here from the Advent. My favorite DAW at the moment is Ableton. I've been using Ableton for quite a long time now, nearly 2 decades. They just keep getting better and better, and it has everything that I need. Audio capabilities, plugins, it's quick, it's user-friendly.
I use Ableton and Bitwig because they both offer very unique approaches to music production, and I get very inspired by their very own workflows.
My DAW of choice is Steinberg's Cubase. The audio engine is beyond anything else I've used. It's so easy for me to use and speeds up my workflow massively, so hence why I stick with it. But yeah, it's wonderful. Sounds great. It's very individual sounding.
Hello, Endless Horseman here. I'm using Ableton Live 12 for its ease of use and endless possibilities in the creative realm.
I've been a Logic user for over 20 years, probably like 23 years, and I actually just found my eMagic dongle for my storage space. So before Apple bought it, you needed this to launch the program. So I don't know, if it fits, it sits. This is just what I've been using for so long. I use multiple programs, but this is the one that kind of just works for my brain chemistry, which is all anybody needs to figure out for themselves.
I use Ableton Live version 12. That's where I'm sitting right now.
My preferred DAW is Logic.
There for each other.
Hi, this is Kink from Sofia. I make electronic music. I also perform music live. I use different machines to do that, but the center of my studio is a computer. And my main digital workstation is Ableton Live.
I'm using Bitwig because of its touch interface and the incredible modulation possibilities.
I'm using Ableton Live because it's great for mixing, improvisation, sound design, and I can do it in my home studio and playing live.
Quasar here. So my favorite DAWs is Ableton because it offers like infinite amount of creativity. connectivity with hardware and audio treatment afterwards. And overall, it's my best friend for music production.
I use Ableton, not because I tried everything and it's the best, but it's because it's the first one I tried and it does everything I want it to do, and so I don't feel the need to invest the time into learning another one that potentially won't be better. So yeah, Ableton.
My name is Alexander Kowalski and my favorite DAW is Ableton Live. I use it for many, many years now. I just love the routing options, the workflow when you work with loops. And with Max for Live, you get a lot of crazy nice devices like effects and sequencers.
In regards to what DAWs we are using here, it's a combination of a few. We use Ableton Live primarily for creating ideas and writing, and we record using the Mio software that Metric Halo incorporates with their Leo 8 audio interfaces. And sometimes we also use Logic Audio.
As a DAW, we use Ableton Live because we know it inside out.
I've been using Bitwig since 0.8. It's modular, it looks good, the view is amazing, and yeah, it's just so fast to work with.
I use Ableton because it's easy to record hardware into, and I've used it for a long time, and I'm a creature of habit.
I use Ableton Live since day one, I guess, more than 20 years ago. Why? Because they gave me two revolutions, I guess. One is 20 years ago when they introduced Ableton. That was the first revolution. That was elastic audio. So you could stretch every file, every audio sample in any possible way. And that made it possible for me to combine everything with everything else. And revolution number two was the introduction of Max for Live, when you were able to build your own program by adding all kinds of different things that you can do with Max. So many new possibilities. So I'm waiting for revolution number 3 now. It would be time. Yeah, so this is my choice, Ableton Live.
This is Bill, and just want to say that my DAW of choice is Ableton because I found it to be the most intuitive DAW, the easiest way to create music. And I just started working with it like around 6-7 years ago because all my friends have been using it because I was using Logic Pro, and it's just easier to work with.
Arthur Robert here. So in regards to the software that I'm using currently at the moment is Bitwig. I have been an Ableton user for 10.5 years, and I'm still using it to teach, but Bitwig has a modular synth built in, and that says it all. Modulation options are incredible, and it's a breeze to use. The team behind it is great. So yeah, both Ableton and Bitwig are great.
My favorite DAW is definitely my computer because it's small. I have everything on it. I'm using it with Ableton since I would say 15 years almost. And I have all my plugins, synthesizers, and so on in it. And because of climate catastrophe as well, it saves a lot of electricity to not have so much hardware. Although I work with hardware, but yeah, that's my favorite, my computer, my life, and Ableton.